Hello, welcome one and all to a brand new video. So this is my non-spoiler thoughts on Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. Roll the titles.
Guilty secret to tell before my head.
So, I'm now back from the cinema after seeing Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker, Star Wars. So I've not been in long. I've been in maybe about an hour. Now, as I said before, my little intro thing there. This is a non-spoiler. I'm not going to say anything on what happened. I'm only going to kind of give you a little abbreviated thoughts and what I think about the trilogy, the new trilogy, and what I think of the films that Disney have produced since taking over the reins. But if you don't want to watch anything after this point or from this point, stop. The new trilogy under Disney. For me, I have enjoyed everything I've seen so far. I really have. When J.J. Abrams helmed The Force Awakens, I was interested. But then when I was kind of, I liked his style. I liked the way how he went about things, and I knew he was a massive, massive Star Wars fan. He's, ever since becoming a professional movie maker, he always had the dream of directing a Star Wars movie. So his dream finally came true, and he was announced as the director for The Force Awakens to kickstart the new trilogy. So I think personally, The Force Awakens, it isn't none of the films are part of this new trilogy are perfect. No, they aren't perfect at all. Some of them I think reign higher than others within this new trilogy. The Force Awakens for me is a good. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, directed by Rian Johnson. Now, it is the weaker. It is, out of everything Disney have produced so far, live action film wise, on the big screen, The Last Jedi has to be the one that is the worst. It's just, I like it. There are some positives I can take from it to kind of enjoy it. When I watched it pretty much very recently again, and there are some things that I do really like about it. There's some really good scenes that I enjoyed, but it's just certain things. It was very cringy. There was a little bit too much of this. It felt a little bit of a forced humour in there, and things like that. And it had a completely different feel. Yes, it was a different director, someone else's perception, if you will. But it was just it had a completely different feel. It didn't feel massively like. It didn't have the same feel as The Force Awakens. Now coming to Rise of Skywalker, for me, Rise of Skywalker is the best one. Out of all the films that I've seen through Disney since they took over the reins from George Lucas, has to be this film. It is my favourite one. Yes, again, there are some cons. I'm not even going to say what my cons are at this point, because one of them is a massive. Is actually quite a big spoiler, so I'm not going to say anything about that. But I do have some pros and cons. But I felt one thing is, as we all knew, obviously Carrie Fisher died very early into the production of Rise of Skywalker. She died not long after The Last Jedi, and the only thing I will say is, I think the only thing I will say is this is a nice little tip of the hat, a nice little final salute to Carrie. Carrie Fisher. I really liked what they did with her. It was quite a touching thing. But as the film itself, I felt it was a vast improvement over the others. It was just, for me, it just had lovely little tidbit elements of Star Wars that I know and love. It just had everything that I perceive Star Wars to be. I felt I found within this. Again, not perfect. There are some little things that I will go into in a proper spoiler-filled review another day. But for now, I will leave you with my words, and I will just say, go and see it. Do not just take somebody else's review. Same with mine, okay? Do not just take somebody else's words as a given. Go and see it for yourself, and just see what you thought of it. I find I am a very open-minded person, and I am just happy to see Star Wars back. Yes, they are not the original trilogy. Yes, they are not The Empire Strikes Back. They are not that quality of movies. They aren't. Because you're never going to get a Star Wars film like Empire again. The Empire Strikes Back is the pinnacle movie. The original trilogy is the pinnacle trilogy. It started it all off. And the generations that's come since then, myself included in that, I grew up during the 90s with the prequels. Obviously being a kid growing up with them, it was my first experience with Star Wars, and I just fell in love with the world. I fell in love with the characters. It was great to see Anakin as a kid, him growing up and being trained by Obi-Wan, and then him becoming Vader in the end. It was very thrilling for me to see that as a kid, and that would have been just the same as those that grew up from 1977 with the originals. It's just the exact same thing, just a different generation that is there to witness them. They are worth your time. They are worth a watch. Rise of Skywalker is certainly worth a watch if you do like Star Wars. Even if you don't, it is a good film to go and see. So go and see it if you wish. Thank you for watching. I'll be back with a spoiler-filled review in a couple of days. I'm going to give people a bit more of a chance to go out and see it. But anyway, thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye for now.